Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Wednesday, February 15th. We have all you need to know about a new Center County grant for incarcerated women and an arrest on a Patton Township man.
We also have more on recent shootings at Michigan State and in Louisiana, along with weather, sports, and entertainment. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jamie DeBellonia.
And I'm Zack O'Brien.
Nearly 3 years after the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, its effect on Center County students is still evident in state testing trends and in the classroom. In all 5 local districts, educators, administrators, and board members are noticing the academic, social, and mental scars left by the pandemic. Academic scores are not the only area of pandemic learning loss. Educators across the county are also increasingly putting a focus on students' social and emotional learning. In recent years, educators have noticed a downward trend in students' emotional and behavioral health in the classroom. Now, with the help of federal or state funding, schools are putting in place extra personnel and programs to help with increasing mental health needs for student populations.
2 local nonprofits are working to help incarcerated women leave correctional facilities and never return. Go Reentry Specialists and another local nonprofit called Community Conferencing of Center County are working to lower relapse rates among women within the county correctional facilities. These services are being funded by new grants through the Pennsylvania Commission of Crime and Delinquency. On top of these efforts, this grant will provide more women with a restorative practice program that is voluntary and free of charge. It is meant to help these women re-enter their communities and society with their families and their support systems.
A State College man was arrested Friday night after a stabbing that left a man hospitalized. Marvin T. Williams was charged with 1 felony count of aggravated assault and misdemeanor counts of simple assault and disorderly conduct. Investigators say the victim suffered stab wounds to his arms, hands, and chest. He was flown to UPMC Altoona for treatment and is in stable condition. The 36-year-old was unable to post $50,000 bail and is being held in Center County Correctional Facility. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for today.
A man who assaulted and raped multiple women over the course of 9 years at his Patton Township home was sentenced to prison on Friday. Following a plea agreement between the state prosecutor and the defense, Kevin Mullen was sentenced 10 to 25 years in state prison, followed by 20 years of court supervision. Mullen was arrested in November of 2021 after one of the women contacted Patton Township Police. Further investigation identified 5 additional victims. Mullen declined to speak before the sentencing. Victims have said that the sentencing of Mullen helps bring a measure of closure for them and their families. We finally got a taste of spring today as temperatures rose to the 60s. Can we expect to see these warm temperatures on our way to Thon this weekend? Luke Snyder with Campus Weather Service has more details in tonight's weather report. Stay tuned.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, I'm student meteorologist Luke Snyder here for your Wednesday evening forecast. Taking a look at the live cameras from Beaver Stadium, you can see completely clear skies, not a single cloud in sight right now. Hopefully a sunset tonight will be very easy to see, and hopefully it's going to be another gorgeous one that we've had the past few nights here. Looking at current conditions, you can see that it is 70 degrees right now. It's very warm, very hot for this time of year. The previous record for February 15th was actually 66 degrees here in State College. So today we are making history by shattering that record by a whole 4 degrees. Very unusual and very unlikely for this time of year. You can see that's also going to feel like 70 degrees today as well. So a lot of us are breaking out that spring and summer apparel a little bit early this year. So we have some strong winds coming in from the west-southwest at 26 miles per hour. So those very strong gusts are hopefully going to make it feel a little bit chillier than it actually is for today. Looking at temperature departures from average, you can see that the entire Commonwealth is incredibly above average for this time of year. State College is about 35 degrees above average for temperatures. The only places that aren't as drastic are along the East Coast in the Philadelphia and Allentown areas, only about the upper 20s for a difference in above average temperatures. And looking at the lower 48 on the East Coast, at least, you can see that the entire East Coast is going to be having those above average temperatures. That's the common trend for much of the country. The only place right here is, you can see Omaha, rather, is only 2 degrees below average, so still not quite as drastic of a change. Speaking of temperature changes, you can see that right now State College is about 18 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago, which might not seem like a lot compared to what we just saw, but right now, considering how warm yesterday was, this is still a very drastic change, causing today to be so above average, because yesterday was still very warm for this time of year. And you can see right here along the Midwest and Northeast region, you can see that this very warm air mass is causing temperature increases in the past day. And then over here in Omaha, they have been decreasing in temperatures 21 degrees in the past 24 hours. And this very large cold front is going to be moving through the area, causing the State College and northeastern temperatures to be decreasing. So we will be experiencing some of those more seasonable temperatures shortly. Looking at future weather radar, you can see the temperatures will, again, like I just said, will be beginning to decrease and dip into more favorable and more February-like temperatures, which is some overcast skies. And it's not going to be until about Thursday morning that you can see this rain is slowly going to start peaking into the Pittsburgh region at around 8, 9, 10, the morning hours of tomorrow, rather. And then around the afternoon and around 1 p.m., you can see that those showers are going to be hitting the State College area, nothing too strong. And then Thursday evening, you can see the scattered showers may be lingering a little bit, but it's going to be leaving much of Pennsylvania. Just some scattered showers coming in from Erie, and then those may transition slowly into a little bit of a stronger scattered showers into State College into early Friday morning, so more of an overnight from Thursday into Friday morning. And then again, Friday morning when much of us are commuting to work or going to school, you can see that the rain is going to be leaving the Commonwealth, thankfully. Taking a wider scope of this, you can see future weather in the Northeast region. You can see we have this large rain mass. So this model is saying a little bit more rain, however. So you can see we have this large rain mass coming in Thursday afternoon, and that is going to be leaving with a little bit of separation. But then again, Thursday night into Friday morning, the rain is going to continue. And then around Friday morning, you can see we have this mixing line of the rain to the mix to the snow. That is going to be hitting the State College area at around noon tomorrow. So we might be able to watch that transition from rain into a mix of like a rain-snow kind of thing into just strictly snow to Friday evening, possibly. And then you can see that Friday, that is going to be leaving off the coast, so we're not going to have any rain Saturday. It's going to be very, very sunny. And then Sunday overnight, those clouds are going to be coming in, giving us overcast skies, and then some rain showers into Monday morning and afternoon, leaving us with just some scattered showers for Monday, nothing too much. And then Tuesday should be relatively clear for much of the day. Looking at tonight's conditions, you can see we have a low of 47 with some mostly clear skies. Not too many clouds are going to be coming through. We have some slight winds coming from the southwest, but again, those gusts of upwards of 20 miles per hour are going to be the big thing for tonight. Looking at temperatures for tomorrow, you can see we have a high of 56, so still very warm, but much chillier and much cooler than it is today. Again, we have those showers going through for much of the day with some slight winds coming in from the south. And taking a look at your 7-day forecast, you can see that we have those seasonable temperatures are approaching a little bit sooner now. As you can see, Saturday is going to be 41, so those February-like temperatures are going to be occurring. And then into Monday, you can see those showers are possible. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we have those AM rain and PM showers, PM flurries rather. So you can see that those precipitation systems are going to be hitting at the beginning of the work week next week. From the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Luke Snyder. Have a great night.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Olivia Dunn with your sports update. Penn State women's basketball lost in overtime to Michigan State Sunday afternoon in East Lansing with a final score of 81-75. The Lady Lions held the lead twice in overtime but ultimately fell to the Spartans, who ended the game with a 10-3 run. Despite the loss, senior McKenna Marisa had a game-high 22 points, which was her 35th 20-point game of her career. She also had 7 rebounds and 5 assists. The Lady Lions are now 13-12 overall and 4-10 in the Big Ten. They will take on Ohio State this Thursday at home. Also on Sunday, Penn State men's lacrosse fell to Villanova with a final score of 14-12. The Nittany Lions battled the entire game, keeping up with the Wildcats until the very end, with 3 unanswered goals in the fourth quarter to tie the game. Villanova ultimately clinched the victory with 2 goals in under 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter to seal the Nittany Lions' loss. Graduate student attacker T.J. Malone was one of the standout players for Penn State with his 11th career hat trick. Meanwhile, redshirt sophomore Hudson Malone won 14 faceoffs for the Nittany Lions, who are now 1-1. Penn State will face off against Stony Brook at home this Saturday. Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon is now the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals. Gannon was signed onto a 5-year contract Tuesday following the Eagles' 38-35 loss in Super Bowl 57 against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cardinals had a 4-13 season and have made 1 playoff appearance since 2015. They also currently have 31 players expected to become free agents.
The Eagles also lost offensive coordinator Shane Steichen to the Indianapolis Colts. This is the first time in almost 3 decades where a Super Bowl team has lost both of its coordinators to NFL head coaching jobs in the subsequent offseason. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Gabrielle Tyner has the latest updates from the entertainment world. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Gabrielle Tyner with your entertainment update. After months of vacancy underneath the Maxon building, a new restaurant will be filling the void. Mezza Mediterranean Grill will finally be opening its doors on February 22nd, after almost a 7-month delay. Mezza will be serving a variety of different flatbread wraps, pita pockets, and bowls to fit every Mediterranean foodie's cravings. Customers can select a base of vegetables or rice, a protein, and can smother it with up to 30 different toppings and sauces. Eager customers can register for the grand opening event, getting a free bowl with a purchase of a drink and a $10 credit for future orders. The grand opening event will be from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. In more local news, Thon, one of the biggest events in State College, is just 2 days away. Penn State Thon has released a spectator resource packet, including information about parking, entrances, and more. Thon 2023 will start at 6 p.m. Friday and last until 4 p.m. Sunday at the Bryce Jordan Center. Spectators can only gain access to the event by getting a Thon weekend wristband between gates A and B. Security will be enforced. All attendees must have a clear tote, gallon bag, or fanny pack to bring items in with them. Some prohibited items include glitter, silly string, food, and balloons. However, attendees can bring an empty reusable water bottle. Anyone expressing visible symptoms of illness will not be allowed into the event. There is no mask protocol, but if it is encouraged for the immunocompromised to wear one. Back in State College, 3 Dots Downtown on Pew Street held its first ever Poetry Fest this past weekend. Field reporter Jeremy Laguerre has more details. Take a look.
My name is Jeremy Laguerre, and I'm here in front of 3 Dots Downtown, a community center here in downtown State College, where they are hosting the first ever Poetry Fest.
This past Saturday, the first ever Poetry Fest was held at 3 Dots Downtown. The event brought together writers and poets from Penn State and the surrounding community. The event was organized by 2 Penn State students and featured Penn State student organizations such as Words and PSU Calliope.
There was a need for a really easy, nice way to come together as a literary community and experience the opportunities in the arts that exist around here. And we also just thought it would be fun. And once we started putting the idea out there, we got a lot of nice feedback. So yeah.
The Penn State Media Commons was also at the festival this Saturday. They hosted a booth that featured a hands-on project using recycled materials for vinyl bookmark making and infusible ink poetry. Off-campus literary organizations such as Ridgelines Language Arts also had booths.
We wanted to kind of provide opportunities for literary clubs, both at Penn State and organizations in the community to be involved and showcase their work, and also for the broader public to kind of find out that these orgs exist, what the great work they do is, and hopefully kind of find some relevance and importance of poetry in their own lives.
The event also featured a book raffle, an open mic session, and performances from famous writers and poets.
Think, then get to work, crossing slowly off your list.
The organizers plan to make Poetry Fest an annual event. For PSN News, I'm Jeremy Laguerre.
You can find out more about the Poetry Fest on Instagram at Poetry Fest State College. While we'll be having a blast in the BJC this weekend, we can't say the same for Lil Nas X and famous DJ Zed. The two are currently being sued after throwing a party at a rented Hollywood Hills house back in April of 2022. The landlord, Daniel Fitzgerald, specifically told the duo that they couldn't throw big events, but that didn't stop them from hosting a party with 1,000 attendees. The landlord claimed there were over $25,000 in damages to the property, forcing him to lose out on tenants and another $40,000. Fitzgerald is suing the Old Town Road singer, Zed, promoters, and sponsors for damages, totaling as low as $1 million. Both Lil Nas X and Zedd have remained quiet about the situation. And that's all for your entertainment update. After the break, interview anchor Caroline Quick will be speaking with Emre Dinç, Secretary and Chair of Turkish Student Association. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back to PSN News. I'm Caroline Quick. With me tonight is the Secretary and Chair of the Turkish Student Association, Emre Dinç. Emre, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. I'd like to start by asking you first, what is the Turkish Student Association?
Turkish Student Association is a registered student organization here at Penn State, which means we are a trustworthy and transparent organization. We are also a social and cultural, but most importantly, non-political, non-profit organization. So we are trying to unite Turkish community here. We are trying to promote our members to know each other, get together, do something together, and we promote our members to meet other members of other communities here at Penn State. We, as the Turkish Student Association, try to unite people and try to contribute diversity here at the campus and aiming to bring people together, Turkish or not.
That's very important. And how can one get involved in the TSA?
TSA, it's to be involved in TSA. It's easy. Just we have an email address on our webpage. It's an official webpage because we are affiliated by Penn State. If anyone can email, if someone emails to us through that email, we can connect to them and we can talk to them. We can learn their interests and they can get involved in TSA. And we try to give responsibilities to each our members because we just don't want our members to just come to the events and then leave. We just want them to be involved and take responsibility. Just like I said, we are trying to bring the diversity and inclusiveness to the campus, and that is helping not only us, not only the association, but whole community here at Penn State.
Thank you. And I was wondering, what sort of events do you hold?
It varies. Normally, we have a list of events that the executive board prepared, but also we respect our members' ideas about the events that we can and should hold. For example, those events could be a coffee hour or dinner gatherings. If we have a special day, like for example, the foundation of the Republic in Turkey or a religious day, we are getting together to celebrate it. But if there's a devastating event, we are coming together to talk about what we can do as a club, and we are coming together to discuss what could be our role in it.
And I'd like to switch gears a little bit. Obviously, an extreme tragedy has struck both Turkey and Syria. An earthquake, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake, has struck the area. And I'm wondering what the TSA has done to help the situation in these countries.
According to the recent news, there are more than 35,000 deaths and more injured people. And honestly, I couldn't find any other word than devastating to describe the event. That earthquake, that is a disaster. And when you think about Mexico, Sweden, Greece, Israel, they were sending help to Turkey. Even Ukraine and Russia, those two countries are in war right now. They are actively in war, but they're sending their rescue teams to Turkey. And I think this shows how much help Turkey needs right now. And we, as the Turkish Student Association, we started a fundraiser here at Penn State, and not here on the University Park campus, but also at the other campuses like Abington. Professors and students supported us, and they shared the fundraiser link, QR codes with other student associations, with other professors, other students, other campuses, other communities out of the university. And we are trying to do something with that fundraiser, because that fundraiser is sending the donations to Turkey directly, not through TSA, but directly sending to Turkey, because those people are in need of urgent assistance right now. And that if your audience could go to that link, our fundraisers link, they can see every detail, day by day, how their donations are sent to Turkey, how their donations are used in Turkey, because those people need food, shelter, medicine. These are really important things for Turkish people right now. And I know many people want to help, but they don't know how to do it. And they're trying to find a trustworthy and transparent source to do their support, to show their support. And I think this fundraiser is a great way to show their support.
So that's how Penn State students can get involved, is to go to the link and QR code and donate. I'm assuming it's things like clothing, food.
Yeah, we also, as the Turkish Student Association, went to the State College municipality, and the staff members were so friendly. They supported our attempts to do something for Turkey, and they saved a space for us to collect those physical donations, like clothes and medical supplies. That was important too, because normally not TSA members started those initiations, but TSA supported those people, because those people either Penn State students or they are from outside of the university, but it doesn't matter for us. We are just trying to help as Turkish Students Association. And we talk to people. We try to get, for example, volunteer drivers, because after collecting those physical donations here, the problem is how to send those donations to the embassies, because Turkish embassy and Turkish consulate in DC and New York, they're sending those donations to Turkey with their ways, because we don't have any way to do it. But we are looking for volunteers and to send those physical donations to the embassy and consulate. So Turkish Student Association is getting involved in that process too.
Okay. Emery, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you coming to talk to us about such a devastating topic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, Jamie and Zachary will bring you the latest news from across the nation. Stay tuned.
Police are currently seeking the motive of the gunman who fired and killed 3 students at Michigan State University this past Monday. Investigators report that Anthony McRae has no apparent connection to the university. The 43-year-old fired inside academic buildings and the campus union beginning at 6:30 p.m., which started an hours-long lockdown. McRae murdered students Brian Frazier, Ariel Anderson, and Alexandra Werner. He was later found 5 miles from campus in an industrial area where he killed himself. The shooting happened a day before the 5-year anniversary of the Parkland school shooting that killed 17.
Police in Louisiana's capital city have arrested 2 people for a mass shooting that left 12 wounded at a nightclub in January. 19-year-olds Nikhil Franklin and Jyshawn Jackson were charged Friday. Franklin was charged with 12 counts of attempted first-degree murder, while Jackson was charged with 12 counts of principal to attempted first-degree murder. On January 22nd, shots rang out at the Dior Bar and Lounge in Baton Rouge. Police said the shooting was not a random act of violence, but more of a targeted attack. Officials believe the shooting was targeted for one person, with bystanders being hurt in the process. The arrest comes as the number of mass shootings continue to rise across the nation.
Jurors began hearing testimony Monday to decide whether an Islamic extremist who killed 8 people on a New York City bike path should get the death sentence. This is an extraordinarily rare penalty in a state that hasn't had an execution in 60 years. Sayfallo Saipov intentionally drove a truck at high speeds down a path along the Hudson River in 2017. The 35-year-old ran over bicyclists just hours before the city's Halloween celebrations. Anything less than a unanimous vote for the death will mean Saipov will spend the rest of his life in prison. Assistant U.S. Attorney Amanda Howell said Saipov remains proud and defiant for the lives that he ruined, and he remains dangerous even behind bars. She told jurors that Saipov smiled when he described his attack to investigators hours afterward because his massacre, quote, made him happy.
A relative of Emmett Till is suing in an attempt to make a Mississippi sheriff serve a 1955 arrest warrant on a white woman who was involved in the kidnapping that led to the teenager's brutal lynching. The killing of Till became a catalyst for the civil rights movement after his mother insisted on an open casket funeral. Till's cousin, Patricia Sterling, filed a federal lawsuit on Thursday against the current LaFleur County Sheriff Ricky Banks. The suit seeks to compel Banks to serve the warrant on Carol Bryant, who has since remarried and is named Carol Bryant Donham. She had an arrest warrant against her in 1955 after that brutal killing. After researchers found the arrest warrant, Mississippi Attorney General said there was no evidence to pursue a criminal case against Donham at this time. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.